Ladies and gentlemen, although I cannot be with you in person today, I want to thank you sincerely for your interest and your devotion in protecting our countryside. A few weeks ago, we celebrated projects across the EU at our second annual Natura 2000 Awards. We honored the work of people like you, and the best way to honor is to widely promote the best practices for nature conservation. Nature is wealth. I'm sure you will agree with me that above and beyond its intrinsic value, nature is vital to health, to social cohesion, to employment, and to economic growth. Nature gives us a myriad of important services, and if we want to continue using them, we must learn to see them for their real value. Some figures speak for themselves. Around 4.4 million jobs directly depend on healthy ecosystems in Europe. The financial benefits flowing from the Natura 2000 network every year are between 200 and 300 billion euro. Natura 2000 is certainly an environmental initiative of the EU, but one which can only be successful if it goes hand in hand with socio-economic principles and with business ethics. But I know that I'm preaching to the converted. Just last year, the Life Plus project, Tree Water, located just next door to you, won first prize in the Reconciling Interest category of our first Natura 2000 Awards. Landowners, nature conservation organizations, and public authorities now work together rather than in conflict to manage the wetland ecosystems. Not only is this a splendid example of sustainable thinking, it is also inspiring. It goes to prove that nature conservation can be integrated into economic activities on privately owned land. And the need for such thinking could not be better timed. The recent major report, The State of Nature in the EU, presents evidence that could not be any clearer. When evaluating habitat types across the EU, the report found that only 16% of habitat assessments are favorable. The overwhelming majority of habitats have an unfavorable status. 47% of the assessments were unfavorable or inadequate, and 30% were unfavorable or bad. The main threats to habitats identified were found to be certain agricultural practices. The practices highlighted included modification of cultivation practices, overgrazing, abandonment of pastoral systems, and fertilization and pesticides. So, I'm extremely grateful to all those involved in the Life Plus project. I also want to tell all the landowners represented here today that I am aware of your major contribution to nature conservation all over Europe. Innovation and cooperation is the key. Many Natura 2000 sites would not have the outstanding quality they have if they weren't managed by generations of dedicated and responsible operators and owners. People like you are our trailblazers, our models. Please continue to promote this innovative integration of nature conservation with economic interests. Please continue to promote the reconciliation of mankind with nature. And please continue in your everyday inspirational work. Thank you all for your investment in nature, our shared wealth.